4 years ago, American Alan Gross was in Cuba working on an internet project for the U.S. government. The night before he was supposed to return to Maryland, the Cuban government arrested him and accused him of working on a subversive project. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison. His family and supporters gathered in Washington on the anniversary of his detention to call for his release. Al Jazeera's Libby Casey has the story.
Alan Gross's wife, Judy, describes him as a man who wanted to help the world.
He was very gregarious, very happy person, great personality, very, very warm. Unfortunately, that's changed quite a bit in the past 4 years, and people don't recognize him when they see pictures of him.
Decades of humanitarian work across the globe led the 60-year-old to Cuba for a project run by the U.S. Agency for International Development. The goal, setting up internet access for Cuba's small Jewish community. Now he's languishing in a jail cell 23 hours a day. He's lost weight, his health, and his hope. Judy says her husband feels like he's been forgotten and left to die.
What could be worse than thinking that your government isn't doing anything to bring you home?
Supporters of Alan Gross gathered near the White House to draw attention to his situation and to call on President Obama to get personally involved. They believe that could make all the difference. Judy read a letter from her husband to the president pleading for his help. It says while administration officials have expressed sympathy and called for his unconditional release, it hasn't been enough. White House spokesman Jay Carney says Mr. Obama is involved.
The president has himself personally engaged foreign leaders and other international figures to use their influence with Cuba to promote Mr. Gross's release. The State Department has kept Mr. Gross's case at the forefront of discussions with the Cuban government and made clear the importance the United States places on his welfare.
Judy Gross fears a Cold War mentality is preventing real negotiations between countries that haven't had formal diplomatic relations in more than 50 years. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton told a House panel last year that Alan Gross deserves to come home, but that the U.S. government isn't offering any deals to Cuba.
At no point, however, has the United States government been willing to give any unilateral concessions to the Castro regime or to ease sanctions as a means to secure Mr. Gross's release.
It's unclear what Cuba would even bargain for, but the Gross family says there's only one way to find out, and that's by talking.
Bring Alan home!
Libby Casey, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Gross's wife lost a lot of weight and that his hopes are fading.
4 years now. Well, coming up.